Prophet Isaiah writes these words, "Comfort, O comfort my people. Speak kindly to Jerusalem, and call out to her that her warfare has ended." The word comfort, it's a simple 7-letter word. It's a word with numerous meanings. It can mean strengthening aid, consolation in time of trouble or worry, a feeling of relief or encouragement, or easing the grief or trouble of. Is this your situation tonight? Is it relief that you need right now? Is there some way in which you need to be encouraged? What is the grief in your life that you would like to see lifted at this time? Right now, your desire is probably for the companionship of comfort. Perhaps you're one of those who wonders if there's any comfort to be had. I just want to assure each and every one of you tonight that there is comfort. I don't know where each and every one of you are. Some of you are just days away, days past from your loved one. Some of you may be weeks or months. Some may be coming up on the anniversary. I was asked to speak tonight on the first year and the first of those during the first year. And I will get to that. I wanted just to give you, each and every one of you, some tools that could be helpful. Because when we go through grief, there's some stages that we all go through. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross wrote a great book on this. That was dealing more with the person who was facing their own mortality. What I'm about to share with you are those of us who are survivors. Those of us who are overcomers, because that's what you are tonight. You're an overcomer. One of the first stages of grief that we go to is that shock and numbness when we hear the news first. And it's almost like we can't believe what we're hearing. And that usually lasts somewhere between 2 or 3 days, maybe 4. And then we go into a stage called searching and yearning. And some of you are probably right in the midst of this. You smell a cologne or hear a song. The way a decoration is in the malls. Maybe a car that goes by. Or a person that turns the corner right when you turn the corner to go down that grocery aisle, down at the far end. Someone turns and you go, that looks just like, oh no, it can't be. And it's those times that bring up the emotions and the grief begins all over again. Searching and yearning lasts somewhere between, after the 3rd or 4th week following a death, to 3 or 4 months. It's very normal. And that leads into a time where, again, some of you are in the midst of this next phase, and that phase is called disorientation, and it's exactly what that word means. It's a time where it can be a dark time, a very discouraging time, a time when you feel like you can't go on. But as people come alongside of you and your faith strengthens and you begin to see some bright spots here and there, you begin to learn some lessons, that disorientation turns into eventually reorientation. When you're able to take that first step back into the routines and things that you did once before, or maybe you're taking on a new thing. I had one wife come up to me one time when her husband was on hospice. And she said, Paul, I said this privately, she said, Paul, is it wrong for me to know I'm going to feel relief when my husband passes? And I said, not at all. You've been a caregiver for 2.5, 3, 4 years. There's no guilt in that at all. You're anticipating what could be and what will be. And in reorientation, you're beginning to see that once again. What could be, what would be. And as you take these steps, you will find yourself being able once again to help others. But I want to talk to you about those firsts. What is a first? It's that first holiday, that first Christmas, the first New Year's. It could be the first birthday, the first Mother's Day, the first Father's Day. That first time the family vacation occurs without that loved one. It could be the first Thanksgiving. I often talk to families and they say, you know, Christmas is challenging. We can give you that. The holidays can be challenging. But for many of them, the hardest time is the Mother's Day or Father's Day. Because they realize that that special day has a big vacancy, has a vacuum. So what do we do? How do we prepare for these firsts? First thing that we can do is be prepared. Develop a small plan. And if that's too challenging, which I realize for some of you that might be, depending on where you're at in your journey of grief, ask for help. Say, this holiday's coming up, or this birthday's coming up, or this anniversary's coming up. And I'd like to do something and plan something for the family so we can work through this together. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Your friends, they're the ones that came up to you after the funeral. And they're the ones that said, if there's anything I can do for you, please call me. This is the time to call. This is the time to reach out and say, I need help. So have a plan. The second thing is, don't be afraid to plan an event. It is a wonderful way to honor the memory of your loved one. It's another way of bringing up stories, whether they're humorous, serious, or somewhere in between. It's a great time to share stories. So plan ahead, plan an event. Thirdly, share the memories. I know when I do services, I give an assignment to the friends and acquaintances of the family. And that is, I give them an assignment to write a story about the individual who has passed. And I say, write the story and mail it to the family. And during this time when you're having your first event, whatever that is, maybe someone's got a memory about a Christmas time, or a birthday, or an anniversary. Maybe it's a time when Dad dressed up as Santa Claus. Or when, maybe like the song says, you came downstairs and you found Mommy kissing Santa. Those are memories that can really be therapeutic and very healing to each and every one. One thing that Thompson's doing tonight, which I admire and respect, and and fully endorse, and that is begin a tradition. And they're inviting you tonight to do that by the ornament you have. And so maybe in your family, everyone creates an ornament or begins some other tradition. Maybe instead of giving a Christmas gift or gifts for a birthday or an anniversary, a tradition has begun to start a foundation in the name of that loved one, or to give towards a charity, or to go volunteer at a homeless shelter, or something that would be honorable to your loved one. Begin a tradition, whatever that may be. A couple more things, and that is give yourself permission to mourn, to express how you're feeling, and to allow others to do the same. After all, this person was very important to you. They were part of your life, whether that was for 6 months or 60 years. So give yourself permission. And I've kind of already said this, but I'm going to say it again, and that is ask for help. Ask for help. Whether it's from your immediate family or extended family or even distant family. You know, whether they're in-laws or outlaws, it's a great time to get people together and to talk about this and ask for help. And just as a footnote, I was talking to someone just a day or two ago, and they were telling me something very, very sad. That they had friends that were telling them that it's time to move on with their grief. Let me be very clear. Don't let anyone tell you it's time to move on. You're grieving in your timetable, in your way, and between you and God and your Maker, between you and your family and close friends, only you will know when it's time to take the next step. I was counseling one woman. They'd been married for over 50 years. And every morning, she went into the bathroom, and on her bathroom vanity, she would open up her husband's aftershave and leave his razor out on the vanity. And all her friends would go, oh, just put it away, you need to move on. She goes, what do you think, Paul? And I go, what does that do for you? She goes, I just like the smell as cologne. I said, so it's a source of comfort to you, isn't it? She says, exactly. I said, you do that to your heart's content. If that brings comfort to you, then by all means, continue. How do I know when I'm beginning to take the first steps towards healing? Here's just a couple things as I close up. Number one, it's when you can begin to talk about the loved one. And yes, shed a few tears, but you're recognizing that they've passed. In fact, to recognize that they have died. But yet, you know they're okay where they're at, and you're okay where you're at. H. Norman Wright lists a few things. And he writes, when you're able to handle the finality of a death, you know you've taken the first step towards healing and overcoming grief. When you can review pleasant as well as unpleasant memories. You can choose to spend time alone and enjoy it.